Hello and welcome. You're watching News Now here on ET Now. I'm Harsh Saita. With me is Meryl D'Souza. And very quickly, let's give you a wrap of how the street has, how the markets, Indian markets have fared this week. Now, while you're looking at US markets, which were largely tepid, 1% lower on the Dow, 1.5% on the S&P 500, and nearly 3% down on the Nasdaq through the week. You also saw a spike in crude oil prices, but Indian markets were extremely resilient. 1% higher on Friday, that notched gains, or rather ended up with the Nifty notching a gain of 0.5% for the week gone by. You saw some very decent moves within the IT pack. The IT index itself was up 4.4%. You saw a 10% gain on TCS alone. So you saw some very decent moves in IT. The earnings were largely in line except Tech Mahindra. Now, Tech Mahindra itself was one of the top gainers for the week gone by. And you saw a 4% gain for the day on Tech Mahindra. So you saw some very decent moves across the board where IT is concerned, and specifically stocks like TCS and Tech M leading that rally. In terms of what didn't play out as well for the week gone by was the realty pack. Realty stocks, even though fared well on Friday, 2% lower for the week gone by on the Nifty Realty Index. Outside of that, autos gained 1% thereabouts. So broadly, the rest of the street was between that band of 4 and -2 in terms of sectors. Broader markets also came under a bit of pressure pretty much all through the week. You saw the Nifty mid-cap as well as small-cap index notching weekly losses. And it's the first time in multiple weeks that we're seeing that. First time in the last 3 that we're seeing the mid-cap close in the red. First time in the last 6 that we're seeing the small cap close in the red. So you've seen some of those moves play out. But essentially, everything on Monday will depend on earnings. And Reliance was one of them that came out with numbers. First quarter turned out to be a stellar one for Reliance Industries. The conglomerate fired on all cylinders with revenue, PAT and EBITDA overshooting expectations, powered by solid performance in the oil and gas business. Talking about Jio, ARPU also saw a marginal rise while subscriber growth continued. Chairman and Managing Director Mukesh Ambani said he is positive on the year going forward, and the upcoming Jio IPO will be a key milestone for the group.